Hey there, welcome to this video where we'll be looking at how to make search the right way in React. All right. This code already is from a previous video whereby we learned how to make reusable components in React. So I will attach that to the description so that you can check that out on your own. Now we've also created this JavaScript search in a previous tutorial, but we're going to make it to be really React search this time around, as we make it a bit more complex so that we can use it for bigger project. All right, so let's begin by creating the search function. So const search. All right, so we do search term like so, and we say it's equal to, we open this up, and then we create an arrow function like so. So the first thing is for us to get maybe the term, search term like so. So search, so this should be search item rather, items. Okay, that's better. Now inside of here, the first thing we want to do is to normalize. So const normalize. So normalizing it here basically is to make sure we get rid of all white spaces. That's just it. So here we'll do search term dot, let's convert it to lowercase like so. And then next thing we want to do is to replace all white spaces with nothing. So we'll do a replace, and then we set up the regex. We can set up the regex here since we'll be needing it multiple times. So regex equal to regex, this should work, regex slash, and then escape s plus slash g like so. So basically this will match any white space that it comes across. So in here we'll put in regex, and then we are saying it should replace every white space with nothing like that. Then next thing we want to do is to return every item in the data we are given that matches this particular search term that we've entered. So for us to do that, we will put the top 100 films dot filter. So dot film like so, and then we check for if film dot label dot. So at this point we also want to do the same thing we've done for the search term. So what do we want to do? We want to first of all convert it to lowercase so that to make sure that that's not a barrier for it to match, and then we do a dot replace just as we did for the other one. So regex, and then we are replacing with nothing, and finally we want to do dot includes. So we want to check if it includes this search term. All right, so we're including the normalized search term like so, and this is all you really need for you to be able to make this search the right way. All right, now that we have the function ready, all that is remaining for us is to use it. So for us to use it, let's get back to our input boxes here. So at this point we want to use the first input box. Now for us to use that, we want to set up a use state. So I assume that you already know what use state is and how it is being used. So for the first one, we are setting up the name or the label as the case may be. So we could just use label as it is, and then set it out to an empty array. So for now this is all we need. Here in the input here, we want to pass in value, and the value would be label. Then for setting the value, we didn't set up the props the last time, so let's open the input, and here we need a function called onChange. As also assume you already know this. So onChange takes in the event, and then it now manipulates the event. All right, so here we want to make sure that we tell it that we need a setter. So this setter is what would set the value to what's supposed to be. So setter will set the value e.target value, like so. All right, so once you have this set up, we can now come back to our app.jsx file, and in here we do the setter. And what's going to be the setter? The setter is going to be set label. Basically, that's just it. And then let's make sure that this is well formatted. So now that we have this, we can save this, and then down here in the function, recall that we initially passed in a handle click here. So what this handle click does is it calls that function when we click the button. So so for now, I'll create a third button. So this third button will just be a normal search. All right. Now in the normal search, we want to do a handle click. Instead of this handle click, we want to call the set items, and then we want to pass in the label. Basically, that's just it. So in here, let's pass in the label, and now that we've passed in the label, let's test our code. Okay, for us to test our code, we need to also change the results we are getting here. So how do we get the right results? We need to also create the results here. So results like so, and then we create an empty array. All right, so now that we have this, let's make this lowercase r. We could just say const output. So this would be the output that is filtered at the end, and then we just come down here and we say set results. We'll pass in the output that we have gotten. Right, now that we have the output, we can just come down here and we're replacing this top 10 movies with results. So with this now, what it means is whatever result we get, that's what is going to be displayed instead of what we already have. So currently we're displaying everything that we have, but we don't want that. So we'll just display only the results. So once you save it, you notice that the results is all cleared. And as soon as we type in SA, we're not getting anything. So THD, we're still not getting anything. So let's check out what we already have and make sure it's working real fine. Yeah, it's not working fine because we didn't click the search. So as soon as we click the search, we have the results, and we could change this to God and do a search. I noticed that it returns for us all values that all films that has God in it. Let's change this to father, like so, and click the search, and you see it returns all that has father. We could change this to just fat and search. It's still returning just that. Let's do FA and make a search, and it's returning up for us up to 3 of them, because this particular movie contains F at some point, and it also contains E at other points. All right, so we've been able to do the regular search whereby just taking one search term and then you build up from there. All right, now how about if you want to search using 2 fields? So we want to check if it matches this or matches this. So how do you go about that? All right, we'll need to maybe just comment this out, so, and then create a new search. So let's comment this out like so, and then we are creating a new search. All right, this would be search items, or so we just add an OR because we want to check both of these fields and check and make sure that it matches. All right, so at this point we need 2 search terms. So the search term name and the search term year. So we could just say, okay, let's make this a label, and for this we make it year. All right, great. So inside of the function, we set out the regex as it is, and then here instead of search term, let's add label, like so. All right, now down here where we check for the function, we'll make 2 conditions. All right, so inside of this condition where we are searching film.label.this, what we now want to do is do an or. All right. Now in the or part, which is the alternative part, we want to check if film dot year. Now because this is a number, we need to convert it to a string, so to string, right? And we already know it's a number, so we don't have to convert it to a lowercase, but just in case you could convert it to a lowercase, it will just fine. So dot includes, okay, let's make sure we get rid of whatever space is supposed to be there, but normally there's no space. We could just forget about it and just move straight. You could do that checks if you really wish to in your own time. So yeah, like so. All right. So now that we have this, everything should work fine. So what we're doing here is we normalize this because this is a string, but we didn't normalize the year because it's supposed to be just a number, and so we'll have done that check before now. And then we have the output, and as soon as we have the output, so we set out the results here. And so for this, we come down here and do a handle click in here. Okay, so this is supposed to be search for the regular search, so let me just comment it out for now. Handle click like so, and then instead of the handle click, we'll call this function, and here we'll pass the label. All right, now we also need to set up for the year so that we can pass something for the year. Now for now, even if you call the function, it's supposed to work because of course we are saying label or year, so if you pass in something to the label, it should work, I guess. So let's check it and see if it works. So if I do this search, it works, and if I do D, it also works. So this is working perfectly, but we want to also add a year so that we can also search with the year at the same time. So for us to do that, we come up here and we set up the use state like so, and then we want that use state to be here. That is it. And then for the number, we could just pass in null for now. All right, so let's come down to the input here, and for the value, we are setting it to year. Then for the setter, we are setting it to set year like so, and that is all we really need. Down here we should now add year. So now that we have year set up here for us, we can now check out our code. All right, so if you put in FA like so and do a search, return something, and if you put in a 195 here and do that search again, you see it returns more than the results we already have because it's returning results for FA and it's returning results for all data that has 195. So we could just add 1954 here, which is the year, and do a second search, and notice that this search reduces. So for every film that has the FA, and for every film that was produced in 1954, is going to return all of them. We could change this again to something else. These are the ones that I can easily remember, so we are using them like so, and you see it's working perfectly. Awesome. Now how about if we want to check if the movie matches both the name and the year? All right, to do it is just similar to what we've already done. So we've already done the hard part, and so I'll just comment this out for now. Okay, I'll just comment this out, and let me copy this all. So let me copy this and then comment it out. See, like that. And now I'm adding a third search here. So instead of or, we just do and here. All right, and instead of this, we just change this to double and. Once we do this, everything has changed and it's going to work perfectly. So we'll come to down here, let's comment this out, and then here we will just do the handle click and make sure we are calling the function properly like so. Do the and then we'll pass in the label, then we'll pass in the year. So once we've done this, save it. Now the difference is going to be that these two must match one book. So when we search, we don't get any result because we can't return because these two does not match any particular publication. But how about if we have, think something like FA, search, or nothing, so law, let's see if we have something like that. So how about if we have 197, we should have something like so. Oh, nothing is there. So let me clear this off and search. All right, great. So we have 1972. So 1962. If I do good here, I have 1972. All right. So if I do God here and I do 1972 and do a search this time around, I'll have only one. And if I do law here and I do 1962, I should have good, Lawrence of Arabia. So the difference is that this one makes it really specific. So it will not just return all the data for you. So now let's uncomment everything we have here. So let me make sure this is working fine. So let's uncomment all of this and uncomment the search too. Let's uncomment all of the search so that everything is working perfectly as we have talked about. So if you do a search all, it should be returned for you every film that was produced in 1962, and it should also produce return for your movies that has LAW inside of it. All right, now if we do a search, and it should return only those that movie produced in 1972 and has law in it. And if I just do a regular search, it's going to still return the same thing, because the regular search just takes in only it takes in just the label. All right, so if I change this to God, it's not going to consider the other one. So search, and it returns everything that has God without respecting the year. And this is how you create a search in React. I'll make sure to add this to the description so that you can reference the GitHub repository. That is it. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video.